So I did a run through of Alphacore #1 some months ago, but I didn't do a deep dive like I did with Yaira and like I did with Gooding. I plan on, hopefully, Lord willing, going back and doing this same thing with ISUM #1 and ISUM #2. Man, the Rippaverse really has so many books coming out now, and these books are so large that it's kind of hard to get to these things back to back, which is exciting. Because when it first started, when I read ISUM #1, I remember thinking to myself, man, I can't wait till I get to the point where they have so many books to cover that I got a backlog. And that's kind of happening right now. And there's some more books coming. So Great War Separation, another one I need to get to. The Horseman, another one I need to get to. And more to come. So anyway, we're going to get right into this, going into Alphacore #1 deep dive and breakdown. And of course, you see this, in my humble opinion, magnificent art from one Mr. Joe Bennett himself. I think he did an absolutely magnificent and wonderful job drawing these characters, drawing this book. So the book opens up with a bank heist. This is Texas Trust. It's the thief, holding this woman hostage. She looks like someone who works at the bank, maybe a teller. Back off, or we both go up. So he has this suicide vest on, and he's telling the officers, if you don't give me some breathing room, there will be no breathing for either of us. Now, when I open this panel right here, now I love splash panels when they're done correctly. And I love what Joe Bennett did right here with this splash panel. I enjoyed this thoroughly. And the colors, the one thing I will say I love about comic books now in general, and I think many comic books benefit from this same thing. The quality of the paper and the depth of the colors are a little deeper than they were. Well, I say a little, they're actually a lot deeper than they were in the early 90s. And I really appreciate that about a lot of these newer books. So, of course, you have the cops here. They're trying to assess the situation, trying to see what's going on. So now the dude says, I mean it. I'll do it. So, of course, they're holding back. You see this police officer right here holding his gun, and he shouts out, drop the gun, release the woman, and we'll talk. No one has to die today. We're all going to die today. I'm ready to go. And next thing you know, he is off, and he has no idea what has happened. And what has happened is Bryan Solari has swooped in and grabbed him up, and he did not even see it coming. This dude, he's trying to shoot at Bryan Solari. Obviously, Bryan Solari is a super soldier, and he says, "Let me go. You need to stop that. I'll live, but it still hurts, and this cape wasn't free." So obviously, we can see that Bryan Solari does feel pain, but he'll live through it. Those bullets won't really do anything to him. So he takes the guy, grabs his hand, tosses the gun. You know how to disarm this? No. Then I don't need you, do I? That is, this book right here, like I had in my mind a perception of Bryan Solari. And this book really blew that perception of Bryan Solari out the water, because I didn't expect him to act in this way. I expected Bryan Solari to be a more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, not a Boy Scout, but in some ways kind of, right? Like kind of a Boy Scout. Like I didn't expect this from him. And of course, he didn't throw this guy to his death. He threw him into a pool and the guy's like, "Hey." And then you see him go crashing down into the pool. Bryan Solari has the vest. He tosses the vest and the vest explodes. The dude splashes down into the pool and you see him coming out of the pool. He's not doing too well. He's like, whoa, his mask comes off. So Bryan Solari goes down, grabs him, and he says, "Hear all those car alarms going off? What did you load that vest with? C4, Simtex?" And the dude says, "It went off? You sound surprised." I am. He didn't expect the vest to go off. So whoever hired this guy, hired this flunky, clearly wanted the vest to go off and wanted him to be emboldened, wanted him to go in with this vest, not thinking that the vest was going to go off and giving him, kind of putting a battery in his back, right? Like, yeah, I can go here and do this. The vest is not going to go off. It's inert. Sure, I can do this. No problem. I can do this in my sleep. Little did he know, had Bryan Solari not shown up, not only would he have died, all of those officers, that bank would have been destroyed. It probably would have collapsed a bit. This would have been terrible. Okay. He's harmless now. Solari, what the? So obviously they didn't expect Solari to show up. You're welcome, Flynn. For what? Look, no one got hurt. The bad guy is in custody. That's not the point. Yeah, it is. This guy have lasers coming out of his butt. Can he fly? Turn to stone? You know the rules for accepts. You come when we call you. You come when it's a freak call. Now, if you're an accept, that's got to be a slap in the face. Like, what do you mean I only come when it's a freak call? And clearly, look, little did they know, Vivian and her cohort are behind this, Michael Copper. So, yeah, there is freaks involved, not directly, but there are accepts involved. It's just that the cops really have no idea. So he says, freak call. We had this. We don't need you showboating to save the day. I don't need this. So now he's flying off. That's right. Fly away. This isn't over. I'm writing you up, flyboy. Imagine that. This dude, Bryan Solari, saves the day. And there's always, you know what? And I think this is true. I think if there were really heroes, I think this is exactly how this would play out. I don't think people would just accept that these heroes have done a service for us, which was really something we couldn't do for ourselves. I think there would actually be people who hated the heroes, even if the heroes were doing the jobs we couldn't do and saving us in situations where really there wouldn't have been a way out, just because this is how humans operate. So now the scene switches over to Lillian and Michael Copper. And he says, and she comes to him and says, are you aware of this, Michael? There's coffee. This Texas trust stunt. Is this one of yours? I might know about it. The blast erased anything that might lead to me. So he thinks. What blast? And thanks to Alphacore, a potent disaster was averted this morning. As son of a, I thought we weren't moving unilaterally. A bank robbery? Seriously? Are you hard up? He was trying to do this in a way where it didn't trace back to them. This dude, look, this book gave me a respect for Michael Copper as a villain because he is willing to spare no one. I mean, there's no one off the table. This is the kind of dude that will there's nothing off the table. It's no holds barred. It's whatever is going to get him to his desired end, whatever that desired end is. It's a bad dude. Not a robbery, Lillian. I had a minor indiscretion that needed some cleanup. And blowing up the bank is your idea of housekeeping? For him, he thought that was the easiest way to deal with this. Just blow up the bank. Yo, again, I just want to say that the art of Joe Bennett, this is some great art. And the colors really do help this art to pop for real. The dude does a good job. Let me see. Get this out of the light here so I can see what's going on. There are funds in a deposit box. Funds you can't justify. And here we are trying to avoid attention. That device was meant to go off in the vault. And now you have a living accomplice. How long until they get a warrant for those boxes and connect you to your stash? So he's kind of sloppy. She's more squared away. If she's going to do something, it's going to be handled, and it's probably going to be handled in such a decisive way and in such a nefarious way that you're not even going to have time to react. He's kind of like, this is what it seems like reading this book if you've never read through it. Michael seems like the blunt instrument, and Lillian seems like she's more precise, like a scalpel. I'll handle it. All the cash and that idiot as well. But we have a larger problem, darling. An ongoing problem. We didn't get an Alphacore signal on that call. Let's call it exigent circumstances, Ray. And if you don't know anything about exigent circumstances, if police get called to your house for like a swatting or something like that, they can go in on the guise that there could be a circumstance in the house that requires immediate attention. They call it exigent circumstances. I learned this watching other people stream and get swatted. Kind of interesting story. Anyway, just winging it then? Sure. I was thinking, Bri, AirPod 1 or the Pod. Not a sexy name for this craft. What about the Arai? I believe that's the area. I believe that's how you say that. What's that mean? It means eagle's nest. Oh, like I think it's array, the array or Arai, however that's pronounced. Then call it that. The eagle's nest. I like it. And this is where you see the whole Alphacore team. And the team building element in this book is, what's the word I'm looking for? It kind of makes me think that there is a buildup coming to a greater Rippaverse team. Maybe not so much in the vein of the Avengers, but maybe something along the lines of like an X-Men. Especially if you've been reading the books, you know they have an addition to Alphacore, which is actually a descendant of Yaira, Stefania, and she is super duper powerful. Can probably give Yaira a run for her money. Actually, it shocked Yaira when she had a run in that first run in because she was trying to figure out, that punch should have like taken you out for good. But Stefania was still standing. Anyway, you're all over the news, Bryan. You make that sound like a bad thing, Valdez. It's problematic. Valdez, and that's the thing, she is so much more what I thought Bryan was. She's kind of more that way. like squared away, every single thing by the book. And Bryan is that way, but sometimes he takes a slight little liberty. And I wasn't really expecting that. How Sandy, uh, perp caught, citizens and property saved. So he's like, how's this a problem? I handled this. I did what I was supposed to do. Depends on your perspective. We were promised when these excepts were employed by the city, there would be guidelines. Is that important when we get a happy ending like we did today? Happy for who, Dana? Happy for the populace that has to be afraid of some super creep bashing down their door at midnight? This is a bit of fear-mongering on the part of this guy. And I have a feeling in the background at play in Flores Park, there are powers that be that are trying to separate the police force from their relationship with Alphacore, and probably for some nefarious purposes. I would even be willing to guarantee that's what it is. And none other than Mr. Copper and Mrs. Renashi they're probably behind this whole thing. Okay. What legal protections do we have against these excepts? Who's this guy? A professional civil contrarian. Forget it. This is important, Bryan. This matters. Public opinion could turn on us and end this program because of your grandstanding. I think Bryan I don't think he's a grandstander. I think he's a person that realizes I have this power and I can't sit around while things happen and not help. That doesn't work for me. And you can tell this is his mentality. Like, I have to do something. I can do something. Why would I sit here and do nothing? What about that car wash opening? That was a favor for a friend. So he says grandstanding. What about that car wash opening? How many autographs did you sign? And where did the 8x10s come from? And who insisted on a cape? Funny. Yo, people. So steps in between them. It's time to time out. And yo, I'll tell you what. The villains that Chuck Dixon introduced in this book, this kind of makes me think that Chuck Dixon behind the scenes is really cooking something up, because I don't want to give it away. If you've not read this book, you're going to see as we go through, there is a person in this book that I thought for sure was going to be around for the long haul. Well, I guess I kind of gave it away. Well, you don't know who that person is, but I think Chuck Dixon has something up his sleeve for Alphacore, something special, and I'm excited to see it. Break it up, all right? You're on the same side. I know. Let us both take a breather. Have an herbal tea, Ingrid. Bry, go punch something. It's hilarious. Ooh, that was tense. It's not called Alphacore for nothing. Unit 6 for Alphacore. Anyone reading me? This is Sergeant Davis. Or Sergeant Davies, excuse me. Go for Alphacore. Go for Alphacore 6. What's your request? We could use some of your brand of backup here. So they got something they can't deal with. Serving a warrant at Lindo Gardens in Gun Hill. You've established the presence of an except on the scene. Does your evidence fall within the restrictions on the Fawcett Act? Unless you can confirm, we can't respond. So you see there's guidelines to Alphacore responding to a situation. There has to be an accept involved. And oh, there is. And this, so I was gonna get ahead of myself, but I'm gonna calm down because I really enjoyed Alphacore. Confirmed. Sending an officer back up inbound. Tell him to step on it. You got papers on me, officers? Oh, this dude is ready for action. He looks like a weasel, doesn't he? We've an arrest warrant for Miss Gloria Pickens. She's been double parking again. Hilarious, double parking. And the way that Joe Bennett did these panels and displayed his action, again, exciting work. I like what this man is doing. This man is, Joe Bennett is really coming with it. He's not playing around. It's for felony theft. Felony theft. No need for you to get involved, sir. Sir, I like that. I do. Only Gloria ain't going nowhere today. So why don't you, pigs, take your squealing elsewhere? Boom, and he puts a shock on him. But he does not know that Braxwell, and Braxwell is a gangster. Like Bryan Solari, he's my favorite member of Alphacore right now. But Braxwell is growing on me. That might change. That is subject to change. I'll see in the next Alphacore book how this goes. Better yet, stay for a pork roast. Nothing better than the smell of bacon. You're about to get galvanized. And here comes Braxwell, and he does not see him. Teach you to leave my old lady. And before he could finish that sentence, Braxwell kicks this dude into next Tuesday, and he was coming in hot. He was not playing around. And you begin to see, even though Braxwell doesn't talk much, he does talk, but he doesn't talk much. And I don't know why. And I'm kind of excited to kind of figure out why that is. He is very quick on his feet. Like, he recognizes immediately what's going on with this dude, and you're going to see. So he kicks him, and it's like oh man, he got him good. And he says, super pitch, whatever he's saying. Oh, may me Pete me dongi. Now, I don't know what language he's speaking, and I don't know if he's just speaking with some slang or something, and I've been trying to figure this out, but I think this is from some other realm or something like that. That's my guess, but maybe it's just some slang or some language or some dialect I should be familiar with, and I'm not. So what does Braxwell do? He gets a water hose out, hoses this dude off to short circuit him. Smart. That was quick thinking. And this is where you kind of get to see that there is way more to Braxwell than you initially thought. And you see the dude just straight up get fricasseed and short circuited. Good work. You shorted him out. We'll call special service to bag him up and ground him. Galvin, what did you do to him? Gloria Joanne Pickens, you're under arrest for grand theft. Cuff her. Now think about this. That was a lot of force for this woman, for something that they could have sent a couple dudes to pick her up. It's got to make you think, what was really going on here? Are things as they appear? Now, if you've read the book, you kind of know what's going on. But if you haven't read the book, it's like, that's a lot of force for just her. Did they know that Galvin was there? I don't know. It's Braxwell. It's Braxwell, right? Thanks for the assist. For shoplifting, the dollar store. This is what she's saying to them. Well, take her easy. So Braxwell just kind of gets out of there without saying much. He's not much for words. You have priors for possession, DUI, and aggravated assault. B&E, DUI, and aggravated assault. So tell me, Cecil, where's a mope like you learn to make bombs? So they've kind of figured that this dude, there's no way he did this himself. Like it just doesn't make sense. How could a dude like this put in this amount of work and build something so elaborate? Would he be doing a lot of the petty things he's doing? So I'll end right there. That's just the start of my Alphacore #1 full breakdown, and we'll get to some more next time. I don't know if I'll do another one tomorrow or maybe sometime this week, but I wanted to open it up with that so we kind of get to see the dynamics of the Alphacore, what they have going on, their work with the police force. You learn about the Fawcett Act. So, clearly they can't just do whatever they want. They can't roam however they want and just show up on the scene whenever. There has to be an except involved when they have a situation, which you would think, right? You would think you have people who have powers. You would think they would use them more than just those situations. Now, I understand not everybody has powers, so you need a functioning police force. You don't want to just offload all your work to these excepts and then your police get lazy and then you don't have people to deal with regular everyday things. I definitely understand that. But man, you would think there'd be more use for them, which again makes me think, who is the influence behind the scenes that is curtailing the use of Alphacore? Because in reality, having Alphacore assist the police force as much as possible, man, things would get wrapped up very quickly. It's almost like there's some villain behind the scenes that's trying to remove the influence and help of the Alphacore as much as possible. Will we find this out later on in this book? Or will we find it out maybe, or find out more maybe in Alphacore #2? I'm excited for that one.